my dear students. Welcome back to the lecture series on e-commerce and ERP. Today we are starting with the ERP implementation life cycle. Whenever we talk of ERP implementation, the ERP systems are adopted in the hopes that they will improve the performance of any organization on a number of key performance indicators like profitability, efficiency, and accuracy in the information system data and reports. ERP vendors typically promise gain of 10 to 15% in revenue, customer satisfaction, and other measures of value. The effort required to build these systems is significant. Meta Group found that the ERP implementation takes around 23 months with total ownership cost of 15 million. The successful implementation is the obvious goal of any organization that has chosen to go in for ERP. ERP implementation is a special event since it involves the entire organization over a period of time. It brings together different functionality, people, procedures, and ideologies and leads to sweeping changes throughout the organization. Given the kind of complexity coupled with time constraints that are inherent in almost all such projects, the risks involved are considerable. But what does it take to sail smoothly through the apparent rough weather of an implementation? How does one sustain the enthusiasm of the users? How do we reap the benefits of ERP in the shortest possible time? Any company can have the best package, knowledgeable users, sustainable resources, but although these elements play a part, they are not enough to guarantee the success of ERP. Here we will discuss about the successful implementation of the ERP systems. The ERP system has to be implemented in three phases. During the pre-implementation or pre-evaluation phase, ERP vendors available in the market are screened based on business requirements. ERP packages that don't suit the business requirements are eliminated. This we have seen in the previous lecture. During the package evaluation phase, selected packages are evaluated against requirements across the departments. A detailed requirement analysis is done involving different managers from across the departments. Requirement analysis helps list down all the functionalities required to ensure efficient processes across the organization. Based on the analysis of the requirement, and the functionalities, a detailed project plan is laid out. This involves senior management team and ERP experts. Designs are finalized. Key resources to be involved in the project are identified in various departments. Special arrangement is also made to tackle consistencies. Once the planning is done, business process re-engineering takes place. Implementation of the ERP will impact the job responsibilities of all the employees. So, new roles and responsibilities are to be assigned to employees. Processes are to be restructured and integrated with ERP tools. Post-implementation and integration, staff and managers are to be trained properly so that they get good practice. Consultants will help employees to get hands-on experience of the ERP tools, and the tools that are implemented are tested rigorously. Issues arising during the testing phase are fixed and required changes are made. The implementation process of the ERP can be explained as the ERP implementation. The ERP implementation life cycle focuses on the ERP project which is carried out to make ERP up and running. ERP project is likely to go through different phases like any other project. Most often, these phases do not necessarily depend on one another in sequence, that is, one phase might start before previous phase has ended. Also, all phases that will be discussed may not be applicable in all the cases. The phases of ERP implementation are implementation stage, and post-implementation stage. We have a mind map of the ERP life cycle. The pre-implementation phase is further divided into pre-evaluation screening, package evaluation, project planning phase, gap analysis, re-engineering, configuration. Implementation phase is further divided into implementation team training, testing, going live, and user training. And then finally is the post-implementation stage, which will be discussed in the next slides. The pre-implementation stage. The the pre-implementation stage has further more partitions as we seen in the mind map. First is pre-evaluation screening. Then, what is pre-evaluation screening? When the company has decided to implement the ERP, the search for the convenient and suitable ERP package begins. If a reference is made to the ERP selection, where we have discussed how we select the ERP based on the vendors criteria, based on the requirements given by the vendors. We select a particular ERP, we prioritize the requirements. You can go to the previous lecture for the details. The package evaluation. The objective of this phase is to find the package that is flexible enough to meet the company's need, or in other words, software that could be customized to obtain a good fit. Once the package to be evaluated are identified, the company needs to develop selection criteria that will permit the evaluation of all the available packages on the same scale. To choose the best system, the identification of the system that meets the business needs and that matches the business profile. Some important key points to keep in mind while evaluating ERP softwares are functional fit with company's business process. The taken up ERP software should be in collaboration with the company's business process, means it should not be not fitting. Degree of integration between the various components of the ERP system, flexibility and scalability, complexity, user friendliness, quick implementation. It is better to have a selection committee that will do the evaluation process. Next is the project planning phase. The project planning phase deals with the design and implementation process, time schedules, deadlines, etc. for the project that are arrived at. The project plan is developed in this phase. In this phase, the details of how to go about the implementation are decided. The project plan is developed, roles are identified, and responsibilities are assigned. The organizational resources that will be used for the implementation are decided, and the people who are supposed to head the implementation are identified. The implementation team members are selected and task allocation is done. The phase will decide when to begin the project, how to do it, and when the project is supposed to be complete. This phase will also plan the what to do in case of contingencies, how to monitor the progress of implementation. The phase will plan what control measures should be installed and what corrective actions should be taken when things are out of control. The project planning is usually done by the committee constituted by the team leaders of each implementation group headed by the CIO. Next is the gap analysis. This is the most crucial phase for the successful implementation of the ERP. We can simply say that it is the process through which companies create a complete model of where they are now and in which direction they want to head in the future. The trick is to design a model which both anticipates and covers any functional gap. Some companies decide to live without a particular function. Other solutions may include upgrade, identify the third party product that might fill the gap, design a custom program, altering the ERP source code, which is the most expensive alternative, usually that is reserved for mission critical installation. There might be situations when you find a project which is going out of control. So gap analysis deals with that situation. Next is project re-engineering. The re-engineering phase involves human factors. In ERP implementation settings, re-engineering has two connotations. The first connotation is the controversial one involving the use of ERP to aid in downsizing efforts. In this case, ERP is purchased with aim of reducing the number of employees. Every implementation will involve some change in job responsibilities as processes become more automated and efficient. However, it is the best to regard ERP as investment and cost cutting measure rather than a downsizing tool. ERP should endanger business changes but not endanger the jobs of thousands of employees. The second use of the word re-engineering in the ERP field focuses on the business process re-engineering BPR, which we have discussed in the previous lecture. The BPR approach to an ERP implementation implies that there are two separate but closely linked implementation on the ERP site. Next is the configuration. The configuration is important for success of ERP implementation, that those configuring the system are able to explain what won't fit into the package, where the gaps in functionality occur. ERP vendors are constantly making efforts to lower configuration costs. Strategies that are currently being done include automation and pre-configuration. We move on to the ERP implementation stage. It is further divided into subphases. First is the implementation team training. By now we are ready to implement the ERP. Pre-implementation phase we have already done. In the pre-implementation planning, gap analysis, everything is by now done. Then we move on to the ERP implementation, in which team training is very important. Synchronously, when the configuration is taking place, the implementation team is being trained. This is the phase where the company trains its employees to implement and later run the system. For the company to be self-sufficient in running the ERP system, it should have a good in-house team that can handle the various solutions. Thus, the company must realize the importance of this phase and select right employees with good attitude. This does not mean that we will not utilize the employees which are not fit. We have to focus on a ERP solution which utilizes maximum of employees and which does not turn out to be a threat on the services of any employee. Testing. This is the point where you are testing real case scenarios. The test cases must be designed to specifically find the weak links in the system, and these bugs should be fixed before going live. Going live is the phase where all technicalities are over and the system is officially declared operational. In this phase, all data conversion must have been done, the databases are up and running, and the prototype is fully configured and tested. Next phase is going live. It means that the implementation team is ready, the software is ready to be implemented, and now we are going to run the system after proper testing has been done. The implementation team must have tested and run the system successfully for some time. The prototype is run, the errors are found out, and it is again removed in coding phase. Once all the testing is done and the organization is satisfied with the software, the implementation goes live, means the system is officially installed on the machines of the organization. Once the system is live, the old system is removed and the new system is used for doing the business. Next is the end user training. This phase is where the actual users of the system will be trained on how to use the system. These actual users may be the clerks, the billing people, the accountants. These are the end users of the system. Means the officials would have been trained already on how to be an administrator, what are the responsibilities of the administrator, which database is to be updated, when the backup has to be taken up. Similarly, the clerks might be trained according to their role in the software, the accountants might be trained according to their roles on the software. The employees who are going to use the new system are identified and their skills are noted. Based on their skill levels, they are divided into groups. Then, each group is given training on the new system. This training is very useful as the success of the ERP system is in the hands of the end users. The end user training is much more important and much more difficult than implementation team training, since people are always reluctant to change. They might fear that this software may bring a change in their jobs, they might not be utilized, their services might not be utilized anymore since the software is being installed. So it is very difficult to train the end user and take them into confidence that yes, they are being utilized very much and their services would be more efficiently taken up by the organization after the implementation of this software. The post implementation. This is very crucial phase when the implementation phase is over. Now the software is live. There must be enough employees who are trained to handle the problem that might occur when the system is running. There must be technical people in the company who have the ability to enhance the system when required. Living with ERP systems will be different from installing them. Projects for implementing the ERP systems get a lot of resources and attention. However, an organization can only get the maximum value of these inputs if it successfully adopts and efficiently uses the system. We move on to the ERP implementation methodology and framework training. By now, our system is ready to be used by the people, by the teams. Implementation of ERP system is complex exercise involving many process alterations and several legacy issues. Organizations need a implementation strategy encompassing both pre-implementation and implementation stages. The fallout of a poor strategy is unpreparedness of employees, implementation not in conformity with wider business strategy, poor business process redesign, and time and cost overrun. Following issues must be carefully thought out and formulated as a part of implementation strategy before embarking on actual implementation. First is business process. Hypothetically, company insiders should know best about the processes of their organization, but employees often constrained to work in department silos and overlook wood for the tree. Under more circumstances, prevailing business practices are not properly defined and no as-is flowcharts documenting existing processes are available. This is the lack on the part of the employee. An ERP implementation could be a great occasion for to assess the optimize existing business processes, control points, breaking points between departments and interfaces with trading partners. But often due to resistance to changes and departmental clouds, ERP implementation is comprehended as an exercise to automate legacy processes. This may lead to little improvement in underlying business processes, resulting no appreciable return on investment. Automating existing manual processes, particular to a company, necessitates significant source code optimization, as even a best fit ERP product match to a maximum of 85 to 90% of legacy processes. Source code optimization will not only require changes of software objects but also need changing data models. This may be result of the testing team. The efforts needed to make such changes are significant in teams of development, testing, and documentation. The future cost of maintenance and upgrades will be substantial, affecting entire life cycle of the system. Unless a considered view favoring process changes is taken as a part of implementation strategy, pressure will mount subsequently for more and more customization when the exercise of business process mapping and gap analysis is taken up during the implementation. ERP systems are highly configurable and contain series of design trade-offs to meet various nuances of some business cycles or processes. This should normally be sufficed to cover needed processes, probably with a little bit of swapping whenever needed. At occasions, it may be imperative to change source code to account for some unique core processes of the organization's. Procedure for authorization of changes, normally requiring attention from sponsors, should also form part of strategy document. Moving forward is the implementation methodology. What all should be utilized or kept in mind during the implementation? Selection of implementation methodology constitutes an important component of implementation strategy. Most popular implementation methodology is Big Bang approach, where on a scheduled cutoff date, entire system is installed throughout the organization. All users move to new system and manual or legacy systems are discontinued. The implementation is swift and price tag is lesser than a phased implementation. On the flip side, risk implementation is much higher and resources for training, testing, and hand-holding are needed at a much higher level, albeit for a short period of time. Another major implementation strategy is phased implementation. where rollout is done over a period. This method is less focused, prolonged, and necessitates maintenance of legacy systems over a period of time. But phased implementation is less risky, provides time for users' acquaintance, and fallback scenarios are less complicated. There are various choices of phasing such as phased rollout by locations for multi-location company, phased rollout by business units, for example human resources, phased rollout by modules like general ledger. Methodology for implementation should form an important constituent of implementation strategy, which should be formulated after considering availability of resources, state of preparedness, risk perception, time frame of implementation, and budgetary provisions. There are some other important strategy issues which have to be kept in mind. First is the legacy data, which deals with gathering, cleaning, and removing of duplicate data. Second is hardware and software, which deals with addition and updating of existing resources, compatibility with existing operating system and the database. So we have to keep in mind whether we have to install a new operating system or whatever software we have adopted for the implementation that is compatible with the existing operating system. The database has to be maintained properly because this is the heart of the software. It should not stuck. We should properly maintain that database which should be updated on time. Proper backups should be taken. These should be scheduled according to monthly, weekly or daily basis. The project structure, project champions and competency center. So this was all about the life cycle of the ERP. Thank you everyone for listening patiently, and we'll meet in the next upcoming lectures. Thank you so much.